Hey everybody, this is Heath Knakmuhs from the U.S. Chambers Above the Fold. Yesterday, the Supreme Court just issued a stay on EPA's Clean Power Plan, and I think some of your readers might be wondering what that entails, what that means. So, pulled an expert from the U.S. Chambers Institute for 21st Century Energy, Heath Knakmuhs, to tell us a little bit about what's going on. So, Heath, what did the court do?
Thanks, Sean. The court stayed the EPA's Clean Power Plan, so it can no longer take effect until judicial review is complete of that plan.
So it was five justices decided this. What kind of thinking process what criteria did justices use before issuing a stay?
The key criteria for the issuance of a stay from the Supreme Court is whether the rule will ultimately be found unlawful and whether the rule can pose imminent harm to those it regulates, to industry, to consumers, businesses, and the like. And so those are the two main primary factors that the court used in determining whether or not a stay was appropriate in this instance.
From what I've read, this is a pretty unique situation what the court has done. What can you tell us about that?
We believe it was quite unprecedented. It is, to our knowledge, the first time that the Supreme Court has issued a stay of a regulation before a lower court has issued a final decision on that regulation. And we view a lot of that in large part due to the dramatic and transformational nature of what the EPA was attempting to do with this regulation.
Yeah, a lot of groups, many states and others are involved in this case, including the U.S. Chamber. So you briefly mentioned about how EPA is it's an attempt by the EPA to transform America's energy situation. Have anything else you want to say about what the Chamber's argument is against the power plant?
Predominantly, we do not believe that the Clean Air Act gave the EPA the authority to completely reconfigure in an aggressive manner the electric power sector for the United States. And so that is a large part of our challenge to the Clean Power Plan.
All right, what are the next steps in this case?
Well, the next steps is the D.C. Circuit has already agreed to hear this case on an expedited briefing schedule due to the importance of the rule and the gravity it has for American businesses, consumers, and others. And so the briefing is going on right now. Briefs will be submitted later this month, and then an oral argument before the three judges at the D.C. Circuit will occur on June 2nd this year. And then we would anticipate having a decision somewhat thereafter, later this summer, from the D.C. Circuit. Thereafter, depending on, of course, what that court says, what their decision is, they will, the emphasis on the case will likely turn to the Supreme Court. Parties in this case can submit motions for cert to the court, and the Supreme Court will take the case from there. All throughout this entire process, however, the rule will remain stayed and not subject to force.
Yeah. So a lot of things are happening, especially regarding the nation's electrical system, which affects every aspect of the economy. So come back, stay tuned at Above the Fold, and we will keep you covered about ongoing news on this interesting case.